Hi guys, Paul Seils here. This evening we're going to be talking about, thanks for joining us and listening to this video as well. So we're going to be talking about elevating wellness with stem cells. And I've got a dear friend of mine, Misha, joining us as well to talk about stem cells. I've known Misha for a long time, about 20 years, and I've also been involved with the stem cell patching and that sort of thing. Misha, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me back again, Paul.
Yeah, it's good to see you. So you've been traveling internationally as well. I know that you've done trips to the US and Mexico and Seoul and that sort of thing this year. And particularly in light of what we've been through in the last couple of years, the emphasis and the importance of health and well-being has become critical and paramount for a lot of people. Do you want to share a little bit about like how you discovered this technology?
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you. Well, I really was in a place, I guess, where in terms of needing what the patches can do, I needed this technology because by Christmas of 2 years ago, I literally had some health things kick in, which were largely related to adrenal fatigue, had fried my adrenal, had a very busy 2022, but also entering that great state that we girls enter, which is in the menopause, where I had a hormonal shift. So that affected me in so many ways. Things like brain fog was probably one of my biggest, and lack of energy. But the brain fog put me in a state of anxiety because of all the different hats that I have and the work that I do. I really needed to be on point. And not being able to open the filing cabinet of your brain and access the files easily is extremely daunting. And so I had lots of other things. And then I guess the thing that really got me by Christmas was that I realized that my eyesight was starting to be affected as well. So come Christmas Day, I sent a rocket of intent out to the universe, and I said, please, whatever it is, because I didn't think medbeds were going to find me in a hurry. Whatever it is, could you please just align me with whatever it is that I need to know about? And so little did I know that a good girlfriend of mine popped her first patch on Christmas Day. But what happened was Tessa rang us on New Year's Day, my husband and I, and she was extremely excited, and she was talking about some funky little patch. And she said my sciatica pain was gone in 4 hours after patching. Now, all she had to say, Paul, was that the patches were non-transdermal, meaning that they don't put anything at all into our body, which is extremely important for a lot of us, certainly in terms of alignment with my belief and my I've had a very healthy organic diet for about 30 years. And so she's talking about this patch, which looks like this, a simple little white patch. And they're photobiomodulation patches, which is a fancy word for light therapy. And so she said that, and it was to do with frequency. And I had been studying through COVID, I've been studying light therapy, frequency, all sorts of different things, because of course, like many people, I had more time on my hands. So when I started patching, I had a very similar experience like she did, that on her first day, she had no sciatica pain at the end of 4 hours. But on the end of my first day, I had an injury sustained to my knee 18 months prior to that, and I had a lot of pain. I had bursitis in my knee. It was really debilitating, and it just blew my mind that at the end of my first day, I was having a barbecue out the back, January warm, with my hubby, and I went to water some pot plants near him, and I suddenly realized that I had no knee pain, and that was game changing. So within the first day, as you do, I shared this technology with a number of friends of mine who all did what I call the lean in, just like me, where they were like, whatever it is, that totally resonates. And they said, we need to do the same, get us some patches as well. So literally 4 did that the first day. They all happened to be bodywork practitioners in different modalities. And from there, we have just seen this amazing change in ourselves, in our families, and the ripple effect it's indescribable. But I guess it's just that thing where we connect when you find something good and it changes lives, how could you not share it?
Absolutely. So this company's been going for a long time, but it's the technology's only recently found its way to Australia and it's blowing up at the moment.
Yeah, it is. So these patches, which look like this, this is called their X39. The company itself is LifeWave. So the patches were, they're actually a culmination of nearly 20 years worth of research by a incredibly brilliant man. He's a two-time recipient in the International Hall of Fame for Science and Technology, and he, David Schmidt, so he started research into phototherapy and things like that, and so he patented this particular patch that reboots our body stem cells in 2020. So it took till October of 2022 before these X39 patches, which are the ones that look like this, came to Australia. And like I said, that was in October. My girlfriend patched Christmas. I patched with my husband the following week. We had amazing change. My husband's a bodybuilder, personal trainer. He has spent his life in the gym. Fitness is incredibly important for him. So he was in a different place when we started patching, in that he had no particular visible anythings like him happening. But what he experienced was from day one what he calls outrageous amounts of energy. But he had some incredible change over the last year, which was so profound and so unexpected. And one was that after 5 months, he had a prostate check because he'd had a scare during COVID. And whilst it had been fine, they did say you've got an enlarged prostate. After 5 months of just wearing one of these a day, as you do, the specialist said to him, your prostate has gone back to normal. I can't understand how it's happened, but it's gone completely back to normal. And then at the end of last year, November 28, he was in a work accident and he severed his major tendon in his shoulder. The supraspinatus, which goes from up here right down there, 22 millimeter wide, full sever, sorry. And they said to us he'd be up for surgery in February because it was explained to us by the surgeon that, it's like a bone, that if it's not joined, it can't heal, no matter the fact that he was getting great results with patching, because he wasn't supposed to be able to do that. And within a few weeks, he could raise his arm above his head with no pain from having gone from excruciating pain. But by then, he had a full arsenal of active stem cells, because what the clinical studies show is that when we patch for 12 hours a day. So we just patch in the morning, clean our teeth, pop a patch on. The main spot is at the back of the neck, but you can literally patch anywhere you want on the body. You wear out 12 hours a day or till we go to bed at night, go to clean our teeth, take it off, throw it away. And so what they show, the clinical studies, is that we patch for 1 month for each decade of our age before all our pluripotent cells are awake again and active. So that means before that full arsenal is back on board. And that's when they talk about the deep healing. And it makes sense. Like you need to have all your stem cells on board before you can go into really the deep healing and regeneration, because stem cells can become absolutely anything in the body. They are the master cell. So in Ken's case, come the end of January, he had a follow-up pre-surgery, and they were stunned because they said it's joined.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. I know there's a lot of people across our community through social media and our Conscious Investor Network community as well that are very health conscious. I've also had a pretty incredible health journey as well, with dealing with like sort of chronic fatigue, heavy metal toxicity, and that sort of thing. I've had really an interesting journey trying different modalities and treatments and that sort of thing, hyperbaric chamber sessions, intravenous therapy, all those sort of things as well. I'm just wondering how they sort of compare or compatible with other technologies and treatments and modalities that people are using, etc.
It's a great question. Basically, Do you remember like back in the day? I remember I think I was at uni that Christopher Reeve had that accident, Reeves.
I do, yes.
And yeah, so he was such a pioneer of stem cell technology and was pushing for that. And so we've had this journey for a very, very long time where a lot of people, I know a lot of friends of mine that have had amazing success now patching, but they went to eye doctors, or different specialists, and they were always told stem cells, when stem cells come, stem cells are the way of the future, stem cells are the future of medicine. But we've never actually had where we can reboot our body's own stem cells. And what we've had up till now is they have been able to do things with it. Started with getting stem cell injections. But the danger with that was, as David Schmidt, the scientist and inventor of these patches, says, that's kind of fraught with difficulty because of the fact that you don't know where those stem cells have come from, and it always isn't always safe. And in fact, it can be tragically have tragic consequences. As one of my girlfriends had a friend, my friends in Melbourne, and her friend went overseas for some stem cell treatment and died.
Wow.
So that's like the ultimate tragedy. So then there is also where they, like my husband for his rotor cuff, because he trains and stuff, he had where he went to Sydney. It's expensive. They pull out, your own, then spin your blood and they pull out the stem cells, and they need to inject it into exactly the right spot. And then you just hope that it's going to be in the right spot, and it takes. But it's only very, very localized. And then, of course, it doesn't last terribly long, especially if you've got a lot of inflammation in the area, which injuries have got inflammation. So what happens is when you put one of these patches near the body, it's actually using the body's own light, because we are beings of light. So it uses our own body's own light and reflects that light back into ourselves. And that elevates something called our copper peptides, which are our GHKCU. And copper peptides are known as the holy grail of anti-aging. But what they do, one of the things that they do, they're amazing, is that they reactivate our body's own dormant stem cells. And I wasn't aware of the fact that by the time we're 30, half our stem cells are already inactive. Which isn't very exciting, but it's definitely not exciting that when you hit our age and you're pushing towards 60 or whatever, that by the time we're 60, pretty much all of them are done and dusted. Like they're there, but they're dormant. They're no longer active. So what this does, this patch, is the magic is in like that 20 years of research and technology is in the fact that it elevates our body's own copper peptides, and they naturally then go and reactivate those pluripotent cells, our stem cells. And our stem cells know exactly what to do because they're ours. They've got, they're our own body doctor. They've got an innate knowledge of where they need to go. And it could be anywhere. It could be like the kidneys, it could be brain tissue, it can be heart, but it can also be like post-surgery. It can be a girlfriend of mine that had a double knee reconstruction, and like it's accelerated wound healing in an amazing way. The things that we've seen have been mind-blowing, but we're just not used to, this is technology that hasn't existed. And it's pretty exciting that it's patented, which means worldwide patent, which means that they've proven that it works. And of course, worldwide patent means that it's never been done on the planet before. And that technology is protected for the next 17 years. So nothing else exists like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, because I also noticed that, like, I've been patching for nearly 12 months now. Misha, thank you for your introduction to this product. Like, it's helped me definitely with energy levels and clarity, and that sort of thing as well. I also had a torn shoulder as well from being in the US, and definitely assisted me in that regard. So I'm back into gym training and that sort of thing as well. There is a lot of testimonials, and there's a lot of scientific data and that sort of thing that's available to support it as well.
They've done on the patch itself, LifeWave has done over 85 clinical studies. They don't come out with anything, they don't make any claims or anything until there's clinical studies done. But some of the clinical studies it's extraordinary. Like one of the things that they've proven is that within the first few days, it resets 4,000 genes within our body. So I wasn't aware of the fact that when I started patching, that's actually 1/3 of our genome. So that's just happening. Some people can feel it happening, and other people can't. But those are the things that start on a cellular level straight away. And then within 3 months, our collagen is increased throughout the body. So that could be like my hair is growing like crazy. My nails have gone from being uber brittle to being incredibly strong, growing like crazy. And that's exciting because of the fact that I know that is the reflection of my internal collagen and your skeletal system and things like that. And a big, mind-blowingly big one is that within 6 weeks, it balances the brain because they've gone the topography maps, they've done all the brain studies where inflammation is heat and where it cools and balances the brain within 6 weeks. Who doesn't want a balanced brain? And then you've got the heart study where they showed that 14 out of 15 people in this study, their average vascular age reversed by 8 years. So that's just after 6 months of patching. Now, my husband and I have now been patching. For next week, it's going to be 15 months. And that's incredibly exciting to know that, our heart is actually reversing in age. And that's one of the things that they've proven in the patent and the clinical studies is that this technology is not anti-aging, it's actually age reversing. So the longer you patch, the more of those stem cells that have been reactivated in our body, and they start to go down the body's own priority list. So our body knows exactly where to send them. So it always sends it to the weakest link. And that's very often where inflammation is, which can be around pain or incredible change that we've seen in people's eyesight, in osteoarthritis, in heart, wound healing, things with children on the spectrum. It's just, you name it. If it's made up of stem cells, which everything is, over time, it'll regenerate.
It's different when we see ourselves a lot as well, but I noticed that definitely with my mum, my mum had a burst blood vessel in her eye, and I started patching her at that point in time a couple of months ago, and then within sort of 2 to 3 weeks, her half of her eye was like completely filled with blood. She wasn't in any pain, but it had completely sort of cleared up and was better than you in sort of 2 to 3 weeks.
I remember seeing that picky that you showed me. That was just extraordinary. And the things like the eyes. When in my couple of years ago, like when the wheels were falling off, that was the year that I lost the last member of my family. Like my mum passed, and so I've got a little place. I kept her place, which is in the Northern Rivers, and it's in a lifestyle village, an over 50s lifestyle village. But as we do, those guys that once were over 50s and stuff are in their late 70s and early 80s now. And what we've seen in the village with people patching has just been mind-blowing because, when I started and I'd say to them, when you start patching, let's see where you are, you're 80, so patch for 8 months, and over time, like your stem cells will be waking up and you'll have your full arsenal of them in 8 months. But little did we expect things like one of the ladies, Jean, with macular degeneration, within a couple of weeks, 2 weeks and 3 days, they invited us to the clubhouse to host a talk, and 6 of them got up and shared, and her and her husband did. And it's so moving because when she shared that she could actually see the dot on the eye chart for macula from her blind eye. It's amazing.
Wow.
And this has been the ripple effect. So they've, of course, been running around the village telling everybody. And those guys started patching and they're all, but when you, oh my gosh, Paul, when you see an 80-year-old's body respond so quickly, and not everybody is a one patch wonder super, super fast. Some people, might take, cell cycle 90 days or whatever it takes, because you don't know what's being dealt with in your body. Like, we had no idea that Ken's prostate was being sorted. He was just patching every day because he just wanted to not enter the aging funnel and keep that. And his gym performance had gone through the roof, so he wasn't going to stop patching because it's a big deal to him.
Sure. Sure. Well, I guess the first thing that people sort of normally ask as well is like, what's the cost? And then how long does it take to get them delivered or shipped, etc.?
Yeah, the amazing thing is, like, this is one thing that blows most of us away, is given that it took him, for this particular patch, it took David Schmidt over a decade to crack the technology. And by the way, they said to him, can you imagine a decade where they say it cannot be done, it cannot be done? Well, he actually put in $4.5 million, patented it, created the patch, but not the usual model, in that it's the cost of a cup of coffee. So most things, especially if you go to America, are mind-blowingly expensive,
Yeah.
especially if they're the only ones that own the technology. But his vision is that it's for the world. When I started patching, this man had 130 worldwide patents. In Seoul, I went to a corporate event whilst I was in Seoul. It was amazing, and they shared that he's now, and it was in 75 countries, he's now got 180 worldwide patents, and it's in 100 countries. So it's extraordinary. So he literally gets downloads, and the technology that it creates is not all to do in this area. He's got some holographic technology. He's doing stuff to clean up the world's oceans. Quite a bit of it is not for profit. Yeah. His wife says that he wakes up in the morning and he just goes, oh, hun, I've just downloaded another new invention. What a brain, hey?
Sounds incredible. I think the thing is as well is that in relation to what we do, we're coaching clients around strategy and that sort of thing, particularly in these times at the moment. Part of it is also encouraging clients to create multiple streams of income. And I know that there's, like, around having people create their own personal wealth and sovereignty and that sort of thing. There's also opportunities for people there that are so inclined as well. I remember when I started, I just really wanted to be able to just have offset the costs of my own patches, etc., for myself and my family and that sort of thing. But did you want to talk about the opportunity side of things as well for people that might be
I'd
interested?
really love to, because now I've witnessed the speed at which that can be created, and the staggering benefit beyond, like, of course, the driver for all of us is the wellness, but the opportunity is incredible. The opportunity, to preface this, I'll just say, is when David Schmidt started, he says, look, I'm just a scientist and inventor. He's a very, very humble man, but he started with the first patches, which were developed for the Navy SEALs, originally to keep them awake when they were, needing to be awake for 68 to 72 hours at a time when they were on submarines and things.
Mm-hmm.
And he was actually asked, what project would you like to work on? And he chose them because he had found out that they were using, caffeine products and all these different things to stay awake, also
Stimulants.
amphetamines.
Yeah.
And so he said, I'd like to work on that. So he started these, and he cracked into the start of what became all of this technology, these patches. And that was with energy and endurance patches. Well, 9/11 came along, that the government withdrew funding from that project and put it into away from personnel into arms. Best thing that ever happened for him, because he went off and created his own choo-choo on his own vision. And so that was taken up very, very quickly by the US Olympic team swim coaches. And you may recall in 2008 when Phelps and the whole swim team where they were smashing all their records and also getting all the medals, and that was because they were patching with these first patches, and they still do. So the Olympians, major big name athletes all around the world. So those were the first of the patches, and he's created other patches along the way. And then because he knew that stem cells were the holy grail of everything, so he worked on that. But it was the US Olympic team's coaches that basically shared with him that if he didn't create a model where people could link each other directly to the company, then it would never get out to the world in the way that he wanted it to. So that's what he did. He changed it. And now 60% of everything that goes to LifeWave, actually there's a flow back, and it's to people that are helping others. So you can choose to patch and just patch for yourself, and that's fine. There's no pressure for anybody to. Most of us, happy to not share and help your friends and family. But in the process, there is a flow back, and there is an incredible opportunity because of the fact that there is a ripple effect. Nobody else has this technology, and financial sovereignty is more important now than any other time in the trajectory of human history, in my humble opinion.
Absolutely.
And I think we need to do it. Whatever we can do to create multiple income streams is unbelievably important. Sovereignty.
Yeah, absolutely. And just while you're sharing there as well, I've also noticed that since I've been back in gym and training and that sort of thing, it's really, you're talking about the athletes and elevated levels, performance and that sort of thing. It's definitely helped me in relation to recovery. I might go to the gym and they're like, you'll be sore for a couple of days, but I've noticed that it helps my body bounce back and respond much faster, which has been great, rather than sort of doing legs and then hobbling around for a couple of days,
Yeah, that was the thing that was a total buzz for my quiet, phlegmatic husband, was that, when he's smashing it out at 330 kilos on the hack squat machine within a couple of weeks, and just the fact that he no knee pain, and that he's got no, that crazy lactic, acid hit when you waddle around post big training sessions, but he's had none of that, virtually none of that. Occasionally, yes. I know that he's really caned it because he says, I could feel my legs this morning.
Yeah, wow. That's pretty impressive performance in relation to leg presses. But so any further information that you can provide in closing, like if anyone's referred anyone to this video to listen to, refer back to whoever's shared this video with them for further information and that sort of thing as well, Mish?
Yeah. So what I'd say is, if you're watching this video and someone led you to it, just reach out to them, circle back and get them to, get some more information from them. I cannot encourage people enough to just start your own patching journey, have your own experience, and play it forward. Don't just get the wins yourself. Gandhi said, be the change that we want to see in the world. And I think that if we've learned anything over the last few years, it's that we need to become a very, a global family in the truest sense of it, and help each other. So this is a incredible technology. It's patented. And if anybody wants to reach out through you, Paul, contact Paul. You can also contact me on ariseteamglobal@gmail.com. We'll help you get patched. There are different packs that you can start off on. They're called silver packs, gold packs. There's a family pack, which is just called a diamond pack, which is also cheaper. It is, who wants to ever enter the aging funnel again? If for the cost of a cup of coffee, we can actually keep our stem cells active, for most of us, it's a no-brainer.
Yep, absolutely wonderful. So is there anything else that you wanted to share with us in closing before we sort of open up for the questions, etc., and then I'll stop the recording? But is there anything else you want to share in closing?
Yeah, I'd love to just say that it's such a delight to be on the journey with you and to be back again. Because I know that when I patched you earlier last year, that you were in probably equal, no, more severe brain fog land than
Oh yeah.
I had been. And just I want to acknowledge the fact that you're doing this and that you're passing on the baton and letting others know, because it's very special and very important.
It is. And I think that's the amazing thing about it as well. You mentioned earlier in the beginning of the conversation about people leaning in. I think the thing that has sort of has astounded me is the caliber and the quality and the resonance of the people that are attracted into this community.
Very much so.
Mm.
I'm amazed at how many like-minded, like-hearted souls are brought together, and people with very common vision. And also, one of the things that I've learned, because as you mentioned, like Paul, if you had told me that I had 5 overseas trips this year, we've now found out that I've probably gone, I've got one in November, which would make it 6, to do with patches, which is basically like a med bed in a patch, I would say to you, you are smoking something. And but here I am, 15 months later, and this is the ripple effect. When these patches came out, LifeWave, the company, put this in perspective, like financially, LifeWave, the company, was doing after 17 years was doing $20 million a year, not scrappy. When this technology was patented with the stem cell reactivating patch, this X39, that went to last year, they thought that it would hit 320 million, and that 20 million after 3 years. It actually went to 430 million by the end of last year, and they predicted in January, David Schmidt said that they're already geared up for $1.8 to $2 billion worth of sales this year. And that's because of the fact that it's just been shared, and because obviously it works. So it is extraordinary, and it's like being in a time capsule, like a Star Trekky kind of thing, where they go one day stem cells, and just the fact that here they are, it's wearable, it's non-transdermal. All you have to do is remember to drink plenty of good water. That's not terribly hard, because it's very important, because your stem cells, when they start to become active, it allows the body to sort of release all that toxic load out of its cells. And also, for optimum stem cell activity, you need to be well hydrated. And if that's as hard as it gets, and it's the cost of a cup of coffee, I don't think you could make it much easier.
Incredible. Well, I appreciate your time anyway, Misha, and your contribution to community, and definitely, like I said, out to promote anything around in the conscious arena around elevating people's wellness and well-being, and also having them create this sovereignty in this, particularly, like you said, in these coming times that we're experiencing at the moment.
There are some really, really big players that I've discovered whilst I was overseas, and even meeting them, upstairs in the bar, as you do at the end of a big day, and you meet some incredibly interesting, fascinating people that have really, really big businesses. And you start to talk to them about this technology, and it's amazing, where they've done massive lean in, and they just say, we want to be patched, we want to know more. And then a couple of them just said, what do we need to do to help you? Just extraordinary.
Yeah, wonderful.
And exciting.
Absolutely. So thank you again for your time, Misha. Send me a private message if you want it, or please refer to the person that's shared this video with you. Do appreciate your time, Misha. And for anyone that's listening to this video, thank you for taking the time to listen. We hope to see you on the journey.